So day 4 is out, but we can't play it till tomorrow. That's fine. Um, if you guys think I'm gonna go over all of this instead of the gameplay changes, I'm sorry, but to it's kind of I think everyone's just waiting for this. So I'm gonna go over all of this now. So yeah. By the way, stay till the end because there's some pretty stupid stuff going on in the market. You could go like right now and look at it. It's going crazy. So let's get on with gameplay changes, starting with the panic attack. The goal is to make the weapon immediately usable, removing the large burst potential, generally hard to balance, and sorry, give the weapon a unique design space to occupy. The new design is 50% faster switch speed, 50% more pellets, 30% less damage, fires a wide fixed shot pattern regardless of server settings. Shot pattern grows with successful shots while holding down the attack button, but resets after you stop firing. Now the reserve shooter. Well, first of all, the panic attack. I'm pretty sure this means it's got an either it's got buffed or nerfed. I think. I'm not actually gonna talk about getting if it's nerfed or not unless I actually know for sure. So yeah, here we go. Pyros are too easy. Like base. Okay, so the reserve shooter now. It's been I'm sorry. It got nerfed, I guess. Attacks on the targets knocked into the air by a pyro will no longer mini crit. So basically, all those pyros that would just do that thing where they just air blast you into the air and try to mini crit you, they can't do that anymore tomorrow. So all the pyro people use this gun while it lasts. So yeah, added attacks on the targets flying via the thermal. So they can only use this. It's basically the reserve shoot is just going to be for the thermal thruster. They can mini crit now. Here's the spy. The ambassador has now gotten nerfed, I guess, so that's going to be gay. The goal is to reduce the effect combat range to something more reasonable and expected with the spy. Changes. Headshot damage is now subjected to the distant fall off effects. Headshots beyond 1,200 world units do normal non-crit damage. The Dead Ringer. Now, this is something everyone's been waiting for. Goal. Rather than making it less interesting, let's make it more predictable to fight against by removing methods by which the spies can reduce its cooldown. This should create more of a rhythm to fighting against a spy using this and introduce a little more risk to a player using it. The changes are ammo kits and dispensers no longer refill the spy's cloak meter. The you or your eternal reward. This the least used spy knife. Now you don't you there's you can disguise non-kill disguises require and consume a full cloak meter. So basically, if you have like the cloak and dagger and the invis watch, or the dead ringer, any of those, you will lose the entirety of your cloak. So yeah, backstab based disguises are still free. Increased cloak drain by 33. Now the scout has gotten a lot of oh, ugh. Let's get with it. The Sandman. The changes are long-range ball impacts no longer remove the victim's ability to fire the weapon, but the victim is still slowed. So it's yeah. We've updated some achievements that we're looking for disarmed players. Max range balls now do 50% increased damage from a base of 15. The flight time required to trigger the max effect has been reduced to 20. Ball regen time is now reduced to 10 seconds. Bonk changes applies a slow effect to the player after phasing wears off based on the amount of damage they have absorbed from 25% at low damage to 50% 200 damage. Lasts 5 seconds now. The Pretty Boy's pocket pistol actually got buffed, so that's great. The new design is that it has 15% more firing speed and you get 7%, 7 HP from hit besides instead of their normal 5. The critical got nerfed. Okay. The changes are each attack. Now this is added. Each attack will activate each attack while active. Active adds marked for death debuff for 5 seconds. Does not stack. They removed the marked for death when it expires. They removed when you can run fast 25%, and they removed the 10% damage penalty. The animators got buffed hard, so it's better now. Triple jump is now possible with the bat deployed. It's only possible. It removed self-inflict damage when triple jumping, and it removed the attack speed penalty. Melee attacks done now in the air mini crit, and 50% deploy time penalty to prevent quick switch bypass. And it reduced damage penalty versus players to 15 from 20. The flying guillotine got nerfed, and it's kind of bad. But from people who use the Sandman and flying guillotine thing, um, this sucks for you guys. It removed the crit when you can stun people. Mini crits from long range are gone. They added long range hit reduced to recharge. Distance considered long range reduced by half of the previous value when determining mini crits. Soldier. Now, Soldier, the base jumper, I guess he got buffed. The changes are reduced amount of air control while deployed by 50. Remove the ability to redeploy the parachute once retracted until the player lands on the ground again. The man shreds got buffed. Changes are plus 75% push force reduction now includes air blast, and it adds 200% more air control when blast jumping. The cow mangler got buffed. Granted, earn and slash. Basically, cow mangler can now it can be crit boosted, and gained slash earned crits by the crit Krieg will now be converted to mini crits now. And the righteous bison, it's back. The righteous bison is finally back to what it was before. Thank you, TF2. Thank you so much. Deals 20 damage per tick from 45. This is necessary because the projectile is no longer limited on the times of it can hit targets. Projectiles are no longer limited on the number of times they can hit the same targets. Projectile velocity is increased to 100,200 from 840. The sniper. Darwin's Danger Shield. The goal is to remove the increased survivability against snipers, which, thank you so much. Thank you so much. The new design is counter range burn attacks, e.g. flares, and strengthened melee versus pyros. Basically, the Darwin's Danger Shield is now just for something for, pyros. So now you can actually fight a Darwin's Danger Shield sniper, and you can't get mad about it anymore. The Razorback got buffed. I got nerfed, I guess. Yeah, I got nerfed. It added a 100% overheal penalty. So you really shouldn't have a parkit medic anymore, basically. But your shield regens, so that's cool. The Vita Saw, Uber on death is too valuable of an effect to have passive. The goal is to change the way the way that requires skill and risk in order to gain this effect. The changes are added organs collecting concept. Hit someone with the saw, and out pops a vital organ when you take them, and hold. Each hit with the Vita Saw harvests the victim's organ shown on the HUD. Added on death, preserve 50% Uber charge per organ harvest. This effect kept at 60. The Crusader's crossbow changes the Uber gain rate reduced in the same way that the Medigun's healing and therefore Uber charge build rate is based on the last time the target was in combat. Reduced by a third when 1 through 10 seconds outside of combat, and scales up to the normal over 10 through 15 seconds. The heavy has, for all miniguns, the changes are the 1 second damage and accuracy penalty now applies to the first second of spun up time, whether or not the heavy is firing. Previously, the 1 second damage penalty would only be removed after 1 second of firing. Accuracy and damage penalties now reset when the heavy spins down rather than when the heavy stops firing. This means if you stay spun up beyond 1 second and fire in bursts, damage and accuracy will now remain at 100%. The killing boxing gloves got buffed. changes are they added a max health drain where it's like the Blood Saw sort of where you'll lose 10 HP while holding it. Health will regenerate only the amount of drained while active minus any damage taken during that time. Each time the gloves are deployed, the drain rate is accelerated for a brief moment of time. You cannot get marked for death, and there's no more 25 damage penalty. It's just like the boxing glove, except you can run faster now, and you lose more health. The eviction notice got, well, I can't tell. The changes are the max health is drained. Max health is drained with this item for 5 seconds. You lose 5 HP every second. And regen when it gets regenerated when holstered. Health will regen only the amount drained while active, minus any damage taken during that time. Remove 20% damage vulnerability. The Vista Seal, they got Changes are 40% overheal reduction while active, 40% healing rate penalty while active, and the second banana we already know. The engineer just kind of rescue rangers. That's kind of it. Changes are ranged repairs now consume metal at a 4:1 health to metal ratio. E.g., repairing 60 damage costs 15 metal. Double the amount of metal applied per wrench hit when upgrading buildings during the setup period. The Claymore is, well, it's back to what it was before. It removed 25%, 25 HP on kill, and it added a 0.5 second increase in charge. The Pyro got all of this, and we already know what this is, and that's it. So if you've already watched my last video, you should know what all these are. But if I didn't put that in there, I'm just gonna go over all of this now because I don't think I actually talked about these. So let's do this. The Dragon's Fury is a primary weapon and uses a shared pressure tank for the primary and alt fire. Primary fire launches a fast-moving, limited-range projectile that deals 25 damage and briefly ignites at enemies. Deals plus 300 damage to burning players, so it's like an insta-kill weapon. And 50% reposition, whatever that is, rate on hit. And air blast, it takes 50%. The thermal thruster, secondary slot, fires a short duration blast that launches the pyro in the direction they are aiming. It's just the threads. Has a 1.1 second holster duration. It's an MVM upgrade. Able to relaunch while airborne, so that's cool. Stun enemies when you land, duration based on impact velocity. Note, landing directly on an enemy grants a bonus stun. Faster recharge rate. Added the gas passer. Secondary slot item creates a horrific visible gas cloud that coats enemies. Flammable material that ignites to 10 seconds of afterburn even if the enemy takes damage. Even pyros. MVM upgrades. Enemies explode while ignited by attacks. Faster recharge rate. Added the slap attack. Gain a speed boost when you hit a player, 20% damage penalty. Every successful slap is announced in the kill feed. Flamethrowers, better visual sync, more consistent, no visual/damage mismatch. New particle effects, applies to all flamethrower variants. Air blast, hit detection for both players and projectiles is now a consistent cone. Aiming at a player's feet no longer misses. Air blasting players now factors in the momentum of the pyro and target, giving both more control over the interaction. The target's existing velocity is no longer cancelled. Players moving at the pyro at great speed will be reflected away at great speed. Players moving towards/away from the pyro will experience less/more push force. Air blast now causes the target player to have reduced footing and air control for a short period. No longer a flat stun. Now factors in the upward angle of the air blast, rather than having a fixed upward force. Total push force slightly increased. The afterburn. Flamethrowers no longer apply maximum duration afterburn on contact. Afterburn duration is now based on how long the target is in contact with direct flames, starting at a minimum of 3 seconds and stacking to a maximum of 10 seconds. per tick after burn damage increased to 4 from 3 for a total of 8 damage per second, up from 6 damage per second. Flare guns now apply 7.5 seconds of afterburn down to its 10 seconds, resulting in the same total damage as before. Afterburn now reduces all direct medic healing and resists shields by 20%. Note, this was previously applied by direct flames from all flamethrowers at 25%, but was moved to Afterburn and slightly lowered. And that's it, guys. And you got this little cool image. And yeah, what do I think about these changes? It's alright, I guess. Nothing I want to get mad about. But, the updates, I'm going to be staying up all night today, because if it does come out exactly at 12 o'clock, I'm going to be playing all day. I'm going to try my best to stay up. But let me guys know what you think about these changes in the comments below. And if you did really want me to get to these, I don't think it's kind of the standard stuff. So yeah, the only thing that, well, it's interesting is that there's new sounds for some items and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of it. I got really hyped when this came out, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great night. Why are you doing this?